and definitely not a wild camp. So yeah, not the wildest of park ups, but certainly a peaceful, semi-peaceful one. A few cars passed us by during the night, but yeah, so we're here at Portsmouth, and all along the esplanade there's parking. We have parked right down the other end before. I'll show you roughly on the map, and I'll record the what 3 words for our memberships. But this is ideal spot, guys, if you're getting the ferry. So that's why we're here. But it is a built up area. So there are restrictions here, but as long as you move by 8 o'clock in the morning, then you can park between 6 in the evening and 8 in the morning for free. And then you have to get onto Ringo and book your ticket. So if you are running a little bit late, you can do that. You can add a couple of hours, but for us, we're gonna move on. But what a beautiful morning.
Well, good morning. It's quite nice here this morning. Very cold, but clear skies. It looks lovely.
So we're not too sure what we're going to do. We've got a few days here. We may have a look around, or we'll catch you down at the port ready to cross the channel back to France. But yeah, we'll see.
Take me away from home, away from
We've been joined by a fox. Good morning. It's an early one this morning. It's not yet 8 o'clock. We've been up for well over an hour and a half because we were woken up by the ROZZERS. Okay, back to the story about being woken up by the police. We were moved on. Well, I tell a lie. We weren't moved on. We moved on. And we were woken up by the police. They were counting the vehicles where we were. And that at about 6:15 woke me up when I heard, oh, there are 7 vans here. I thought, oh no, where have we parked? There were parking signs up where we were. And I couldn't see anything when we got there saying that no overnight parking. And there were other vans parked along the roadside as well. So we thought we were pretty safe. However, the police carried on walking up and down and up and down. And once we were awake, that was it. We were awake. I opened the curtains to see one of the policemen looking at the van and walking past the front, and I thought, oh dear. So we got up quite hastily, just in case. As it was, they didn't move us on. I did ask them if they wanted a cup of tea, and they said they would have loved one had they not been changing shift in a couple of minutes' time. So yeah, and they were talking about breathalyzing people as well. Now, we didn't have a problem with that. We don't drink when we're in the van. We never do. It's just not worth it. Yeah, we got woken up by the police. Like I said, they were very friendly. But it did look like they were considering breathalyzing and possibly checking people. I'm pretty sure they were taking down registration numbers, probably just to do the usual MOT, tax, insurance checks, that sort of thing. You know what it's like? It's like when you go through customs and you think you've done something wrong and you haven't. You know you've got nothing illegal on you, but you automatically feel guilty. Maybe it's a British thing. Yeah, we got woken up by the ROZZERS people in Portsmouth. But like I said, they were very friendly.
So we're still waiting to board our ferry at Portsmouth. And Portsmouth itself, as you well know, guys, is full of history, and there's so much to see and do there. from HMS Victory to the D-Day landings exhibition they've got there. And we're currently standing at Fort Brockhurst. Now the reason we come here is because in France we can't get a lot of the same stuff that you can in the UK. So Claire was desperate to go to the range, which just happens to be literally over my shoulder in that car park there. So this was on the doorstep, so I thought, kill two birds with one stone, let Claire go to the range and do her shopping, and we'll come and have a look at this. However, this is only open a couple of days a month, and sod's law, it's not today. But quite an interesting building, and it's massive. I don't know too much more about it, but we'll find out.
Constructed between 1858 and 1862, Fort Brockhurst was designed to protect Portsmouth. It was one of 5 forts known as the Gosport Advance Line. With their formidable firepower and amid fears of a French invasion, their main purpose was to guard the dockyard from potential attack. Although never used for its intended purpose, the fort remained in commission until 1957, serving as accommodation, storage and training facilities.
And we're actually in Gosport at the moment, so we're around the other side of Portsmouth, another heavily structured naval area, shall we say. So yeah, the only problem with the attractions actually in Portsmouth is everything's pay, so, and it's not cheap either. So this one's free when it's open. Yeah, and that's what we need to do from time to time. You need to find things other than shopping in the range to fill your time before catching the ferry.
There is nothing wrong with the range when you need a few picture frames. I have a knife.
Put the knife away.
I have a knife.
That's not good for me if she's got a knife. Looks like we're going back in the range then. So there you go, guys. That's quite interesting, that fort. Yeah, it's just finding things to do when you're waiting for the ferry this side when we're going back to France. Obviously, for us, it's always good to come and pick up some provisions that you just can't get in France, because in France, I feel as if they protect their own products better than we do in the UK. That's not to say that it's a good thing, but in France they are very limited compared to the UK. When you come back to the UK and you see the shops and the variety that you get within just a plain old supermarket, well, France simply doesn't have that. It doesn't have that variety. It's still good products and produce, sorry, still good produce, but not that variety that we're used to in the UK. So yeah, big shop. Freddie's full. He's laden with goodies that will get us through another year of that French living. So down at Pompey, onto the ferry, and then back into France and prepare for our next adventure. But this one isn't quite over yet. So here we are again, guys, back at the ferry terminal and at the very front. But that doesn't mean anything when you arrive at the ferry here. It all depends on what they're letting in first, and normally because you're in a larger van they put you on the lower deck, which means they've got to feed the upper decks first, which is the cars. So yeah, we've made it here after a little explore around Portsmouth and Gosport, and just waiting to be boarded. So literally the first to arrive and one of the last to board. This is what happens if you've got a hire camper. They've got to get all the cars on the car deck before they'll let the campers on. But we'll be there soon. Usual.
Every time.
So good morning, folks, and a very short morning we had indeed. So the Portsmouth Cairn crossings only about 7 hours, so you get some sleep but not loads. So we're about to go and get a cup of tea. I'm sure you've seen a ferry before, so we'll leave you behind and we'll catch back up with you on the road. Back on familiar ground in the country we now call home, and knowing that our camera gear is about to be put away until our next adventure, there's one last place we'd like to visit in preparation for a possible future adventure. So we're just stopping for a bit of lunch, and we're at a chateau. Chateau.
Something to do with ladies.
Something to do with ladies. Oh, that's pretty good. Chateau Saint-Genesieux. I don't know. But it's a very picturesque chateau, and yeah, we'll go for a little bit of a walk in a minute. A bit of a leg stretch, but it's a beautiful drive to here, but taking us about 4 hours from the port, through the back roads and avoiding the tolls, the costly tolls. So to get to where we are now, which is roughly in line with tours, the total tolls are around £50, €50. So we've avoided that. It is a little bit longer. The roads are a little bit more slower. Oh, they're definitely slower, but yeah, cheaper. So we're actually in the main car park at the minute for the chateau, and there's plenty of parking here. So we're going to go to the photographic location, which is right around the other side, and park up there and go and take a little bimble and have a look at the chateau. And there's an air de camping car. I just saw a sign just past this car park, so we might stay there tonight. if not, I'll find a wild park up somewhere. But yeah, that French bread was lovely. That went down terrific. But now it's time to go and have a look at this chateau. So during the summer you'd be able to come down to this point if you can get parks. I'm sure it'd be busier. But it's park ups all along here. We've just taken Freddie down here, but it's far, far too quagmiry to be able to turn around, so I've had to reverse all the way back. And we don't want to get into the same situation as we did in Scotland.
No,
where we're begging people to pull us out. So yeah, we've parked at the end there. There's a little bit more of a hard standing. It's not quite so bad and swampy. But this is what we were up against, guys. These are the parking bays just here. A very similar scenario to what we found in Scotland, where the ground hadn't frozen. It was just quagmires, so really difficult. We did find that difficult. That's why we used quite a few car parks. But it won't put us off, guys. It definitely won't put us off. I'm just thinking of maybe the next van needs to be a proper 4x4, not a permanent 4x4 like Mercedes Sprinters, but a absolutely selectable 4x4. Bit Land Rover. Yeah. Bit like Ian's Delica, but on a much larger scale. So pretty impressive. Time to lose some weight, as in get rid of the rucksack, guys. Nothing to do with my diet. So flat skies, which isn't too bad because it keeps the colour, keeps the contrast down on the castle, but we could do with some definition. So we know where we need to come if the weather changes over the next few hours, or tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, what an impressive thing over the river here. And this is a tributary off of the Loire, so we're still in the Loire Valley, but this isn't the Loire River, I believe. The Loire Valley itself is absolutely stunning, and it's full of these chateaux, some very, very impressive chateaux. Chateau Chambord, Amboise, Saumur, some of them we've visited. But what we'd like to do one day is take a tour all the way down the Loire and have a look, a proper in-depth look at some of them chateaux, in both from the photography side of things, but also just from the tourist side of things. Like we've done in the past, sometimes it's just good to come and scout these places out. Now we know that in the summer you could get brilliant blue skies and it'd be absolutely gorgeous. And this is on one, when you've got a subject like this is an occasion where big blue skies will actually work. So yeah, beautiful. And if you get a calm river, once the winter wash, shall we call it, calms down, then you could get a lovely mirror reflection as well. So there's too many ripples there today, but yeah. So what we've done is put our big stoppers on the front. Remember the big tinted glass on the front, which slows your shutter speed down, which then smooths out the water. So we've used what we've used in the past to add some reflection. Also using a polarizer to cut through some of the white glare that you get off of the river. But an absolute terrific place, and definitely worth a visit again. And this one you can do, because this one's south of Amboise, you could go to Amboise and then onto this, and that would be a great route if you're making your way south through France.
Well, this place is beautiful, and we definitely want to come back. I've wanted to come here for a long time, and despite the weather, it is drizzling again,
It doesn't disappoint. It is stunning, but for photographic value, it's not ideal. We've got really flat grey skies and the water is so murky, and because it's this lovely sort of limestone finish on the castle, on the chateau, everything just looks cream. It's not what you want to see in your picture. So we are going to come back. We have decided we are going to have a new series based around here and some of the other beautiful chateaus in the Loire. So, Mister.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do a new series of photographing the Loire or visiting the Loire.
Told you.
And picking up some of the best chateaus in the area and making a little bit of a route plan for you guys if you decide to come over here.
Yeah. The Loire is famous for its chateaus, and there are a lot of them in a very small vicinity around this chateau. A lot of beautiful chateaus as well.
Possibly when the weather's a little bit more on our side.
Yeah, and we think it might be nice to have a little bit of colour as well.
So guys, that will bring us nicely to the end of this adventure. We really sincerely hope you've enjoyed it. We have struggled. So yeah, it's been full of quagmires, hard parking, rain, storms, wind, everything Mother Nature could throw at us, and somehow we got through it.
We have. We got through it. Like we said, everything's been thrown at us. My hands match my jacket, they're cold.
Yep.
It has been very, very cold this time.
And what we struggled with was nothing was open, so that was a bit of a struggle. We couldn't actually take her inside much because it's all closed down for winter. So that means, Scotland, we will
return.
Absolutely. We didn't get the snow, we didn't get the frost.
I know, what were you playing at? Everything we asked for, you kept it off our Christmas wish list.
Yeah, you did. So until then, guys, we wish all the best as always. Thank you ever so much for supporting the channel, and we'll see you on the road
soon.
Some mixed emotions as we finally bring to an end the Stormy Scotland series.
You've heard so many stories, but now you know that all you have are worries, they come and go.
We're in France and heading back to our home.
Talk about silver linings, it's just pretend. When your heart is
And like the saying goes, there's simply no place like home.
till the end.
For now.
When everything falls into pieces and you have wasted every teardrop, as it seems for no good reason, give me something to believe in. I'll be your comfort and preserver, and I'll wipe away your teardrops when the night is getting darker. You don't have to struggle harder. You thought that you could handle any firestorm, but deep down every
Many
battle.
thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video,
Please like, subscribe.
leave a comment and we'll get back to you. If you would like to support the channel, please consider buying us a coffee. And if you'd like access to our newsletter
Our What 3 Words park ups.
and photography locations, join the AVF memberships.
Full details of how to join can be found at buymeacoffee.com/AVFreddie
AVFreddie, or follow the link in this video's description.
or on our other social media platforms.